There was a time, not buried in myth, but in the very bones of the earth, when the Sahara, today the largest hot desert on the planet, was not a place of desolation and heat, but a vibrant and fertile landscape teeming with life. Between 10,000 and 5,000 years ago, during a period known to scientists as the African Humid Period, a dramatic climate shift transformed the region. Seasonal monsoons, driven by slight changes in the Earth's tilt and orbit, moved northward, bringing sustained rainfall to areas that now see none. The result was astonishing. Sprawling savannas, interconnected lakes, and rivers spread across what we now know as North Africa. In this forgotten paradise, elephants, giraffes, crocodiles, and hippos roamed freely. Herds of cattle grazed peacefully under vast skies, and early humans built settlements along the shores of massive lakes, like the now-vanished mega-lake Chad, which at its peak covered an area larger than the Caspian Sea. People hunted, fished, farmed, and left behind intricate rock art that still survives in places like the Tibesti Mountains and the Tassili Niger, offering haunting glimpses into a lost world. Scenes of swimmers, hunters, and herders painted on the walls of caves now surrounded by sand. But paradise, as history often reminds us, is rarely permanent. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the climate began to shift again. The very orbital patterns that had once brought rain now turned against the Sahara. The Milankovitch cycles, long-term variations in Earth's orbital eccentricity, axial tilt, and precession, altered the intensity of solar radiation reaching the northern hemisphere, weakening the monsoon system that had sustained life. Over centuries, not days, not decades, but generations, the green began to fade. The lakes dried into cracked basins, grasslands turned into scrub, and then to dust. Sand, carried by wind, slowly buried the remnants of this forgotten Eden. The people who once thrived there had no choice but to move. Some may have migrated south, others east toward the Nile Valley, where the relatively stable waters of the river offered a refuge. There, some historians and archaeologists argue, the seeds of the ancient Egyptian civilization were planted, watered, quite literally, by the collapse of the Sahara's green age. This transformation from lush to lifeless wasn't just ecological, it was civilizational. Recent satellite imagery reveals ghost rivers, fossilized lakebeds, and even hints of long-lost human settlements now buried beneath dunes and sand seas. The Sahara was not always empty. It was erased. But was this transformation purely natural? Some researchers argue that early human activity, including overgrazing, deforestation, and the burning of grasslands, may have tipped the balance. Perhaps the drying was inevitable, but it may have been accelerated by those very civilizations who depended on the land. The haunting implication is this, that even in prehistory, humans may have already begun shaping and damaging their environment. The Green Sahara, then, is not just a tale of climate and cosmic rhythms, but of fragility, of impermanence, and of the choices that echo through time. Today, as we look out across the Sahara's vast dunes, silent, golden, and seemingly eternal, it's hard to imagine that beneath them lie the remnants of forests, rivers, and entire ecosystems. It's a reminder that climate change is not a modern phenomenon, nor is collapse. Civilizations have risen and fallen with the rhythms of the earth before, and they will again. The story of the Green Sahara challenges us to think differently about deserts, about forgotten histories, and about the invisible worlds that still lie beneath our feet. And perhaps it warns us, too, that paradise, no matter how vast or green, can vanish, not with a bang, but with a slow and silent wind.